Morning. Good afternoon. Depending on when you're watching this video. Not that bad today. It's a nice day, actually. It's kind of nippy-ish. But I figured we'll come on, do a little walking, do a little talking. And, hope you had a great weekend. Hope your weekend was great. Mine was good. Had to end. Sorry it had to end, but, you know, back to the work week. That's one thing that we all should focus on is doing things that make you happy even in your workplace. I was sharing Saturday. I went to I went to Walmart. And I guess the lady was training. The young lady was training, and her whole spirit, her whole demeanor, kind of put me in a place. And I had to ask her. I say like, maybe you should go home. Maybe you don't need to be training right now, because if I was the manager or the person in charge, you would be working today. I would have to send you home because your whole attitude, your whole vibe, as far as dealing with the customers, is off. And I can't have you be in the face of my customer service, and you know, not smiling, not talking to the customer, not greeting the customer. That's one of the things when you're dealing with customers, regardless of how you feel or how you're feeling. You got to put on the smile, put on the face. At least I greet the customers. And like she wouldn't even tell me what I need to do. Luckily, I know what I need to do already. Now I need her assistance, but thinking about people that don't know what to do and need her assistance, how she was acting. So anyway, that was Saturday. Then I went to a place called the and I. It's funny how you wanna see something online, and people rave about it, right? People talk about it, they rave about it, and then when you get there and see it for yourself, you realize, hey, good morning. You realize that it's probably someplace you shouldn't go. But anyway, Taco Lab. I went there. Hey, good morning. Welcome. Good morning. I'm just sharing before I get into the meat of the conversation about walking with God data. I'm just sharing my weekend. So I went to a place called Taco Lab, and I've been seeing the reviews for the place, right, online. And so I love tacos. You can find a channel for I love tacos. So I said, let me go to this taco place. And I see the reviews for it, and I see the pictures and the food and everything and the environment online. So I said, let me go check it out. So I go check it out, and needless to say, the burrito taco is iguana, dead iguana. But the burrito taco is wasn't very good. But the nacho, it was okay. I've had better. The steak nacho was okay. It wasn't like top tier, and the customer service was bad. And that's one thing I talk about all the time. I was just talking about that with Walmart. If the customer service is bad, the food could be okay, but if the customer service is bad, I don't want to be bothered with it. I won't be back. So I won't be going back to the Taco Lab. Needless to say, I won't be going back there. And so Sunday, I went to church. And we had been talking about studying before going to church, right? Before going to church, we were talking about studying the book of Matthew, chapter 6. Matthew chapter 6. And so we went to church Sunday. Hey, hi. Where am I going? I'm just walking. But anyway, we the text came from Matthew chapter 6. Matthew 6. chapter 6. And so pretty much talking about making a spiritual deposit. And not only that, like depositing into your spirit daily and leaving the flesh behind. A lot of times we deal with the flesh. As humans, we deal with the flesh. You know, want things in the flesh. You know, materialistic things. You know, it's hard to let those things go. But he pretty much was saying that leave those things behind. Leave those things behind and focus on your spirituality. Put God first. Put God first. Put God first. One more time for people in the back that didn't hear it. Put God first. And when you put God first, things tend to align with where you're going and what you want. Now, you can try to do things on your own. You know, I'm guilty of that. I raise my hand to that. You know, trying to do things on your own and trying to figure things out on your own instead of putting God in the midst of everything you're doing. Put God as a foundation, what you want and what you want to do. And walk with God daily. Deposit into your spirit daily. You know, things don't happen overnight. You know, you can't change. You can't rebuild. You can't build your finances. You can't get educated. Things don't happen overnight. Things happen with consistency, with sowing seeds in yourself and sowing seeds in your spirit daily. And that's over time you see. And I often use the example of putting pennies in a mason. You ever had a mason jar, a little small mason jar? Putting pennies in a mason jar. And over time you look up and you see that jar is full and you have to get another jar. It's going to overflow. That's the same thing with your spirit. You have to deposit in your spirit daily. Whether that's reading your Bible or getting online and listening to certain audios, videos to deposit into your spirit. So that was part of the message on Sunday. It was a great message, and like I said, it was like divine, like actually praying about something, talking about something, and God showing up and showing out. God showing up and showing out. You know, it was amazing. But like I said before, sometimes if you pray, not sometimes, all the time, when you ask God for something or you pray about something, He'll give you the answer. You just gotta be patient and wait for it. And sometimes, amen. Yes, sometimes you don't want to wait. You know, you don't want to wait. You want an answer. You want an instant. You know, like microwave effect. You know, you want it done right then. You want to put your food in there, warm it up. But back in the day, we didn't have microwaves. We had to put things in the oven to warm things up, and it took a little time to warm them up. How you doing? Yeah, it took a little time to warm things up. You know, it wasn't instant. You know, it may take like a couple of minutes. You can put things in the freezer, put things in the refrigerator for a while, a couple of days, try to warm it up and eat it. You got to go in there. You got to put it in the oven. The oven got to get hot. Once the oven get hot, you put it in there, and then you wait for a little while it's in there for a minute, maybe 5, 10, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and you go in there and stir it up. And it still may not be hot. It still may not be hot. So then you gotta put it back in there, stir it up some more, let it sit some more, and then come back and stir it up again. So same thing, you know. Sometimes God don't move when you want him to move. God moves when it's time. And so you gotta be patient. You gotta be patient and wait. And know the answer is coming. Just be patient about it. And when you get it, you'll be like, I see. And so that's what happened with me Sunday. You know, we talked about the chapter and studied from the chapter, and that's what the message is about from that chapter, from that book, Matthew chapter 6. So, you know, walk with God daily. Deposit into your spirit daily. And don't lean on your own understanding. Don't try to do things on your own. You know, like same thing with, like I said, I use the example as a little child. Sometimes that child try to walk. You have to pick it up and carry it. Or hold his hand and walk with it. Same thing with God. You know, same thing with your spiritual father, your spirit. Sometimes you know, yeah, but yeah, you know, walk with God daily. Well, what I was gonna say is, you know, you'll be amazed. I'm amazed myself personally. I'm amazed at the goodness of God and how things so like you don't really see things. Well, I didn't really see things. Um, and no, I knew God, but not really in the spiritual system the way I see things now. It's not, I can't. It's hard for me to explain. It's different, but to see things, and see things happen divine the way they do. I had things happen to me before that I really couldn't explain, but more so now, and I just have to thank God for it. That's why I come on here. That's why I come on here and share. Come on here and share and give testimony to say, you know, God is good. God is good, and thank God for grace. Thank God for mercy. Thank God for not only the things that I don't have, the things that I have, the seen, the unseen, the blessings, the bad, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. Because everything happens for a reason, and everything is a lesson. Everything is a lesson, and I can't blame. You know, sometimes we get upset. Sometimes we get upset and question God about certain things happening in our life. But that's what will reveal itself sooner or later. That's what will reveal itself sooner or later. You just gotta be patient. You gotta be old. It's getting old when I'm in this moment. My goodness. You just gotta be patient and wait. You know, your answer's coming. And sometimes, let's say you want it right then. Let's go, man. It's get really under this bridge. The witch call is really biting. The wind is really blowing. I might say, yeah, the wind is really blowing. But anyway, I just want to come on and share that and say that great message Sunday. That was pretty much my weekend. Friday I didn't do much. Let me see. Yeah, Friday I didn't do much. Saturday, I told you what happened Saturday. I actually went to my old job Saturday. The manager acted like he didn't know who I was. And this is the guy I talked to on a daily basis when I was there. And it's funny. It was funny to me. I laughed, but I was like, dang, I was surprised. I was surprised at how he acted, how he didn't act, how he acted. But you should let people surprise you. You can let people surprise you, or for the most part. Like, I was like, dang, but that's the way he was. You know, I don't know if he was putting up a facade. Obviously he was. By the caringness and the way he communicated with me while I was there. Once I was gone, that was it. He didn't even talk. He didn't speak. But that was my Saturday. Like I said, Taco Lab, customer service, walking with God, spiritual deposits. And I mentioned before how you make spiritual deposits. This is one of the things that the minister was saying. And sometimes you have to cut certain family off because they're not. You know, it's not that you don't love them. It's not that you don't love them. It's that they're not on the same spiritual page you're on. You're not traveling in the same direction you're traveling in. You know, sometimes it's better for you to you love them, but love them from a distance. You know, love from a distance. Your spiritual growth, your spirituality is more important than anything. And you can, but like I always say in my videos, other videos, that most of the time when you can say negative energy, you can say the devil, whatever you want to say. For the most part, most of the time, when things like that happen, it never comes from people on the outside. People on the outside can't get to you. It's always somebody in the immediate circle that causes the most pain, the most harm to you. And they don't do it. They don't do it intentionally. They do it because that's the way it is. That's the way it's set up. People from the outside. People from the outside can't get to you. So it's always somebody on the immediate circle that tries to cause friction and pain to you. You know, but you just have to pray about it, go to God about it, and you know, let Him lead you. Like I say, you know, put Him as a foundation. Let God lead you, and that's that. You know, and that's a learning process. It's a learning process because even I had to be reminded. Myself. A friend reminded me. Say no. Say you can't feel like that. You can't talk like that because you gotta go by what each your own words. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes especially with me, it happens. Like I come on live, say something on my live, say a video, and say something, and then I be put in the same situation, and I have to eat what I said, remember what I said, or it's brought to my remembrance of what I said, and I have to keep on pressing on because, you know, it's a daily battle. It's a daily battle. It's a spiritual warfare, I might say. It's a spiritual warfare that's happening. And I know I said that before in my other video, but if you haven't seen that video, check that video out. I was talking about spiritual. I was talking about demons and spirits and all that. All that exists. All that exists. But you have to know what side. You have to know what battle, what side of the battle, what side of the fish you're on, what team you're on. Like, you know, like you might be team Seattle, you might be team New England. Which team do you like? Because you can't like them both. You may like them both, but who you want to win? That's the same thing with spiritual warfare. With God's team and the other team, even the demon team. What team you gonna be on? What team you gonna serve? Like my uncle would always say, you gotta choose what side of fish you're gonna be on. Like choose what side of the fish you want to be on. And I'll run with that. Because you can't shout at the fence. You gotta decide. You got to decide. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard because we deal with the flesh and we live in the flesh, and it's hard. It's hard. It's hard, but you gotta get around people that's on the same page you on, and try to walk in the same direction you're walking in, and it makes it a whole lot easier. Makes it a whole lot easier, and that's why they say your circle determines everything. People you're around, the environment you're in, determines everything you do. So that's why it's important for you. They say, I used to say, I don't need to go to church, but that's a lie. I was telling myself a lie. I was lying to myself. Because the culture, the environment I was in, wasn't conducive to where I wanted to go. Well, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I believe, but I was headed in the wrong direction. I didn't know where I was going. But yeah, like I say, it's easier when you're around people that's going in the same direction you're trying to go in. You know, it's real hard. I mean, like really, I ain't talking about like people that's playing. I ain't talking about people that's playing church. I'm talking about people that's really trying to seek God and follow God for themselves. You know, and I say happiness too. Happiness. Another thing about happiness too. Sad people around other sad people. I understand we all go through stuff, but we here to. If you're going through something in your life, I'm gonna pray with you. We'll try to get answers together, but you know, being sad, like even with phone calls, like I remember getting phone calls, but those phone calls don't cheer you up. But, and I don't mean stuff like that. I don't mean like when something tragic happens. I mean it's like daily life, the pitfalls of life, and you can't seem to get it together. That's one thing you said too. Mentioned too in the message too is like you get a certain age. Sometimes you get a certain age, your life is your own. You can't blame people for what's going on in your life. You get a certain age, you know, you gotta sometimes you gotta take accountability for what you're going through on your own. and decide change. Decide whether you're gonna change or not, or what you gonna do. What you gonna do to have success. And that's another thing when it comes to walking with God daily, making God your spiritual foundation. And I gotta keep saying that. I gotta keep saying it over and over. You know, whether people watch it, people agree, people disagree, it doesn't really matter. You know, this is my channel. This is the way I feel. So if you don't like it, you know, I hate to say it like that, but it's true. If you don't like it, you gotta subscribe. You don't gotta watch. But I'm gonna come on here. That's what I believe, and I'm gonna come on here. I'm gonna have breath in my body to say how good God is for one, how good God has been to me for one, and for two, whatever, however you want to number it. But say how good God has been to me, and to say that God should be your spiritual foundation. And you know, you can say my higher power, whatever you want to say, but you know, I know, and I know that God is real. So you know, that's my higher power, if you want to say it like that. But either way, you know, I'm almost to my spot. I'm almost to the spot. So I'm gonna get off of here. I know God probably gonna say something to me about walking this way, but I, you know, done it before. And last time I did it, God didn't let me get on the train. So maybe he'll let me get on the train this time. Maybe he won't. We'll see. But it's all in God's hands, regardless of what happens. If I can get on the train now, I get on it later. Either way, I'm gonna get where I'm going. But heading to the train station. Those that saw me live before, you know, I missed the train last time because the guy told me I couldn't ride it. But this one good thing about South Florida, when you're going south or north, but basically mainly south, when you're going south on the train, like to Miami, I live south of Miami. So when you're going to Miami, I'm in South Florida. I don't know if I said that, but I'm in South Florida. So when you go to Miami, instead of getting on 95, I-95, it's better to get on the train. It's better to get on the train and instead of driving in traffic. Even if you're going north, that's not that bad. But either way, either direction you're going in, it's good to get on the train and save gas and save time. But anyway, I hope y'all have a blessed day. And like I always say, tell somebody you love them, because you never know when you're going to go. You never know when they're going to go. And kiss the ones you love. You never know when you kiss them again. And also, small word, a word or a small gesture can go a long way with somebody, because we all going through something. And you never know a small word, a small gesture can change somebody's life, because, you know, you just don't know. You never know. So anyway, with that being said, like I said before, walk with God daily. Make spiritual deposits daily, you know, in your life, and you'll be surprised how things change for you. You know, it may take some time. Like, nothing happens overnight. But make deposits daily, and you'll be surprised within a matter of time how things change, how you change, and how you grow spiritually. And don't lean to your own understanding. Put God first. Put God in it. Put God in the mix of it. And tell him thank you regardless, whatever circumstances may be. Tell God thank you. Tell God you know it's done. And just wait. Just wait. Because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen right away. It has to happen in God's time. It's happen in God's time. So just be patient. Go to God in prayer. Ask him for whatever you want. And just be patient. And you know that it's coming. Know that it's done. But you have to know. And don't be a double-minded person. You gotta have faith that it's gonna happen. Don't say I believe it's gonna be done. Don't really believe. That's another thing you said too in church Sunday. But don't be a double-minded person. You know that it's done. You know, if you believe it to be done, know that it's done. Don't doubt it. So with that being said, be safe, be blessed. I'll be seeing you. I'm out. Peace.